Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are at the beautiful nursery, Spring Meadow Nursery here in Grand Haven, Michigan. Of course, Spring Meadow is the home to all of the Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. Jerry and I, along with our Amber, who's our operations manager, and Cece, who runs the garden center, we are here for a couple of days attending their leaderboard event. So this is an event that is an invitation only for growers, and we get to come, we get to explore, we get to tour, we get to hear about grand new introductions that will be coming out in the line. So what we're going to do today is to give you a look at the beautiful plants that are here, both in the ground, and then we're going to go back to their display area that they have set up for us, where we can see just some gorgeous shrubs in all of their glory. Because most people are not going to make it to Western Michigan. Really, Spring Meadow is not open to the public as far as tours and all of that. So we want to share this beautiful setting with you. So without further ado, let's just come on in and get into it, because even when you pull into the parking lot is a beautiful garden. They are always constantly changing, adding, pulling out different plants to highlight different things. So right now they are entering into their panicle hydrangea season. They've got roses here, but they do have, like this is Little Lime Punch. It is not yet blooming. So just depending on the crop, right, because they are Western Michigan, they're a little bit more behind of where we are in North Carolina, obviously. But when we were walking through this morning, we were coming through the parking lot, and I haven't seen this garden by the parking lot, and I wanted to kind of share it with you. Jerry hasn't even seen it, and it was just an absolutely beautiful display of plants, because they will put these plants in here as if they were a garden. And so if these plants can grow here in Western Michigan, like literally surrounded by asphalt and concrete, then you know that they are tough and fantastic. So for example, like here is a Temple of Bloom. All of the plants that are out here are already in the Proven Winners line. So I'm not giving you kind of an exclusive as far as like new introductions, but like you can see the Temple of Bloom. Love this plant. It is going to be like a small tree. It's getting ready to put on some of those flowers. Really fun interest. Maybe you can't grow a crepe myrtle because you're not warm enough, but this will give you kind of that same esque look of it, because it will flower, the bark peels. It's a really fun one. And then of course they have like weigelas through here. So there's two different ones here. I don't see the names that are on here, but we're going to try to tiptoe through somehow through to the garden, because what I want you to see is really like this bed in through here. So you have got, let's just hop over there right quick. Hold on a second. All right, we hopped over into the sidewalk, so we can come through here and you can actually see now. So you have got like some Tough Stuff Top Fun hydrangeas, and it's so fun to see how plants that we can grow in North Carolina, how they perform here in Western Michigan. My serratas, this like the Tough Stuff Top Fun, I'm gonna need some afternoon shade. It is actually 3:15 in the afternoon right now, and these are in full sun. There is no burn on them, and they are doing just gorgeous. And then look, also, Wee Bit Innocent. This is a macrophylla hydrangea. Again, look at that beautiful foliage. Look at these massive blooms on it, super tight. Wee Bit Innocent is going to be pH dependent, so it's going to have those, could be in the pinks, it could be in the blues, but a very nice pastel color. Again, in North Carolina, there's no way I would put this in the full hot afternoon sun, but here it works really well. And then these two, like look at these. Essentially, we're going for foliage here on these two guys. So you have got the Winecraft Black Smoke Bush, which I am a huge fan of the Smoke Bush, whether it's the Winecraft Black or the Winecraft Gold. It does really well in North Carolina. It does really well here in Western Michigan. Beautiful plant. It is deciduous, but who cares, because you get this gorgeous, deep, deep, dark purple, near black foliage that does not fade. Even in North Carolina, it won't fade. And then what really spurred me on like to come down here, look at these Kinsley's Ghost. So there's actually 3 of them through here. Kinsley's Ghost is a type of honeysuckle. Now this is one plant that has been growing here for several years. It is in an obelisk because you're going to need to support it, but it is this very, very cool honeysuckle that the older leaves look like eucalyptus to me. Now, it doesn't smell like eucalyptus, it just looks like eucalyptus. Earlier in the season, these little guys, these were the flowers. Very much reminds you of traditional honeysuckle, the white and the yellow. And then what they're going to do is they're going to turn to little berries. Look, we've got some that are already forming right here. These little berries are going to turn a really nice bright red. Now, you see what this leaf looks like, right? It's a beautiful circular flower. However, I want you to look at the new growth, because we've even had people say, like they've ordered it and they got the quart size and they're like, this is not the right plant. It is, sugar. Listen, the leaves start out a different shape. They're much more elongated. So your new growth is nice and tender, right? You're gonna have to help support it, help train it. But as these leaves mature, they will slowly begin to turn round. So here's one that's in kind of an in-between stage, right? So it's not nearly as elongated, but it's not circular yet. It's going to get there. So remember, gardening teaches you patience. So Kinsley's Ghost is a really fun one. I can do the full sun, even in North Carolina is great. Coming down through here, so you have got like barberries, that Sunjoy Mini Saffron, nice pop of color, and it is mini, so it's nice and stays in the front. You have got your Pugster Blue Butterfly bushes, so you've got some deer-proof plants right here. Those deer-proof plants that the deer are not going to be attracted to, lovely. You've got boxwoods, which also are going to be in that deer-proof line. Then you've got, yeah, these are sprinters. Then you've got your lilacs. This is one of the bloomerangs that is reblooming. I'm trying to see if I can find to see exactly which one this is. This is, oh, it's the new one. It's the Ballet. So Ballet is that nice, soft, pale pink, and it smells divine. So beautiful. So they're just really fun, and you can see again, like you have the other Kinsley's Ghost, you've got more barberries, you've got abelias. So just repeating, and so what they're doing here is they're showcasing these plants for us. Gorgeous hydrangeas is this Little Lime Punch. It is Little Lime Punch, one of my absolute favorites. So showcasing these plants so that one, when their employees come, they have a beautiful display. Two, visitors come, and like you immediately know that you're coming into something really amazing when you pull into this parking lot. And then the third, even though these have been introduced into the Proven Winners line already, they're still kind of putting them through their paces. Let's see, how do they do? How do they perform up against hot cars, up against, you know, the asphalt? Of course, here in Western Michigan, they get a lot of snow. So in the wintertime, how do these plants do if there's salt put down on the sidewalk or in the parking lot? So they still get put through their paces. Lots of fun to see them, of course. End of July in Western Michigan is a great time to be here because everything is looking lush and beautiful. Speaking of lush and beautiful, let's leave the front parking lot. Let's head to the back and show you those gardens and the display back there. All right, so we have made our way, it's kind of between the offices and the production houses. So this is the area again where when we come as guests, we get to have lunch or breakfast out here at the picnic tables. But again, having more gardens right here, and then have what they call like kind of the garden center for the plants that are displayed. Couple of things. Again, the panicles are blooming, beginning to bloom. First of all, we have a lovely hedge here, shall we say, of pufferfish. You know how much we adore pufferfish. It's one of the relatively new panicle hydrangeas from Proven Winners on the market. Has very open blooms on it, so you can see how like lacy they are. Once, if you get rain, that water just goes right through it. Your pollinators love pufferfish. And going to be in that kind of that 5-foot range. But one thing that I was like, every time I come, I always get multiple nuggets of information or inspiration. But this particular one, they have really kind of trained it. It's hard to see right here because you've got a candy corn kind of up underneath it. But this pufferfish, they really have trained it in kind of that semi-like standard form. So I don't know if Jerry can kind of show you, but they've pruned it up. And so again, you prune it up so that you can plant other things closer around it. So I have that pufferfish in the privacy berm, and I'm thinking I might want to start limbing it up. It literally is, you just go in and you begin snipping some of those stems. You find those main strong stems that you want to keep. This is a multi-trunked one. It is not a single standard. It's probably got 3 or 4 main leaders in it. However, this one over here is in that single stem form, so you can see that where they have trained it to come up. So it goes up in that single stem for about 2 feet, and then it branches out. So you can absolutely, as your hydrangeas grow, especially your panicles, if you want to create that standard form, you certainly can do that. It just takes a little bit of time, right? So the little line punch coming through here, talking about how they're constantly changing things out. Clearly they have just recently, within, I would probably say this season, have planted the paisley pup, right? So paisley pup is new. It is that dog hobble. It is a native shrub. Again, here they have it in full hot afternoon sun. In the southeast, I'm going to need to give it some shade. It is a fantastic evergreen shrub that really does change colors. Ours at the house have gotten nice and big. I have one in a container. She is stunning. She is gorgeous. I love this plant. In fact, I was just talking to another North Carolina grower. She's a wholesaler that we get plants from. And I said, Lisa, we need some paisley pup. The people want paisley pup huge. So my customers that are coming to the garden center, I'm working for you. Of course, we have those online. And then they've got the roses of Sharon, more of those little line punches, because of course those hydrangeas are, this time of year, are what are really stealing the show. But even in the winter, these gardens have interest. So for example, I think this is maybe Gin Fizz. Yep, look at me. So this is Gin Fizz, a beautiful juniper that has that nice structure. They're not pruning this, y'all. Beautiful structure to it, has the berries. So even in the dead of winter, when everything else, maybe your hydrangeas, of course, clearly are not looking beautiful, you have got gorgeous evergreen structure here that is doing really well. So you've got Durvillas in here. You've got the Kodiak Jet Black. This is one that we had just featured that's going to go into our part of the signature garden. See that beautiful black foliage and those really bright yellow flowers? Gorgeous, right? Love this. So Durvillas, you've got barberries in here, just tons of different things. Of course, the Midnight Express, that red bud up there. So really fun to see how things that have been in the landscape for years, like the red buds, and then the newly planted hydrangeas, that is the like an Invincible here with the paisley pup, all of those great plants. Now, coming down here, this is what they call the garden center. And this is, they set this up because really in the month of July, they have a lot of events. They have a lot of folks that are coming in, a lot of visitors. And so this is where they kind of set up like a mock, had a little wreck over there. They had to toot their horn. They set up like a mock garden center. It's not a garden center. It's not open for public. It is just kind of a display. So if you have not heard, Let's Dance Skyview is going to be really talked about a lot. This is from our sweet friend Megan Matai, and it is what they are calling the continuous blooming hydrangea. Okay, so this is a big leaf, a macrophylla hydrangea. It is a fantastic continuous blooming hydrangea. So if you have been plagued with your hydrangeas, your max, that will not bloom, either it's because you pruned it at the wrong time, the weather is crazy, whatever it may be, I want you to look into Skyview. So Skyview blooms on old growth, new growth, and just constantly is going to bloom. So you've got these beautiful blooms, for case in point, right? You've got these beautiful blooms right here, and then look, what's next door? That's right, my friends, you have got a bud. So these are just going to continuously bloom throughout the entire growing season. Let me find a tag so I can give you exactly all the details, because I do know how much y'all love the details. Hardy in zones 4 to 9, 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide. So If you're in Western Michigan, or if you're in those cooler zones, you could probably put this out in the full sun. If you're in the southeast or those warmer zones like I am, this is going to need morning sun, afternoon shade. Okay, so Let's Dance Skyview, gorgeous. It is pH dependent, so if you want those the blue flowers, if you don't have acidic soil, you're going to need to add to your soil to get that blue. But there you go. So you've got the Skyview, you've got the pufferfish. This is an absolutely gorgeous specimen of the Oh So Easy in Fuego. Of course, that beautiful rose. Like, look right here, look at all, and it smells. Oh, I just got a whiff. It smells divine. Look at the color on that, right? So you've got this beautiful continuous display of a myriad of colors, just fabulous. And I say, if I'm going to grow a rose, I want it to smell like a rose. This smells like a rose. And again, talking about continuous blooms. So you have got older blooms. You've got some that need to be deadheaded. We deadhead our roses. Those fresh new blooms, and then look, you've got a whole section of all these buds appearing right here. So you're going to get great display, beautiful fragrance in the garden. Native shrubs are definitely all of the buzz. So you hear about native. So we're going to be talking about more of solutions with the in the Proven Winner Color Choice shrub line. So you're going to talk about native shrubs. We're going to talk about shrubs that are the deer proof, right? You're going to talk about what do we say? Oh, the InCheck. That's a new thing that they're doing also. So let's see over here, like with the deer proof right here. So you have got sections right here of, you've got your barberries, you've got your vitex, you have got, let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, the barberries, all of those fun things. In fact, y'all remember, I just did, talking about potting up some new plants. This is the new, that Sunjoy Neo, that Fast Neo. So remember, I potted them up as a quart. And then this is a 1 gallon. So you can see how it's growing. That Fast Neo is part of that deer proof line. They're hardy in zones 4 to 9. They need the full sun. If you want to get that really bright red color, you need to have the sun on them. And they're going to be 3 to 5 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. So lots of different options for you. If you have deer that is a problem for you, gonna have solutions for sure. And then of course, the Hollywood hibiscus. So they've got those. These are great tropical, beautiful hibiscus that they are tropical. If you wanted to overwinter them, especially if you're in the warmer zones, pull them inside, see how they'll do. But really this is meant to be kind of a 1 season plant on that. Let's see. Let me see what else we can get into. Okay, remember when I was telling you about the different solutions, the different programs that Proven Winners is really going to be focusing on with their color choice shrubs. So one of those is going to be what they call InCheck. And these are plants that historically maybe are not so well behaved in certain gardens. For example, your Rose of Sharon, your barberries, your spireas. So now what they're doing is going to really focusing on, if you have an area, like if you live in an area where your Rose of Sharon maybe can be a problem. So you can go and we can talk about those plants that are InCheck that are going to be sterile, seedless, and non-invasive, because the Proven Winner Color Choice Shrubs really trying to find solutions for folks that have problems in their garden. So this is going to be a really fun one because with us having our YouTube channel and our platform that we do, of course, we're in North Carolina, a Zone 8A. So I can plant barberries and they're not an issue for me in North Carolina. But you go somewhere else in the country and they could be a huge problem. So knowing and understanding your garden is step 1. Step 2 is finding those plants that have been bred to have these, that they are seedless, that they are sterile, that they're not invasive. Because as gardeners, we want to be responsible and be good stewards of the land that has been given to us, and so to take care of it. So as a side note, look at the El Niños. Look how beautiful they are. These are just in a 2-gallon container. They are blooming. They are gorgeous. Of course, El Niño is a catalpa. It is a desert orchid. Basically, it looks like a really large snapdragon. dragon. I mean, they are beautiful. They have a nice fragrance to them. These have been pruned as far as, like you can see, because they bloom on new growth. So they have been pruned here. They have 3 stalks that have come up. You can, like this one has kind of started. Again, it's going to be kind of that multi-trunk small tree. So your El Nino is going to be hardy in zones 6 to 9, about 5 to 8 feet tall, 4 to 6 wide. I'll say if you're in North Carolina like I am, mine is already every bit of 8 feet tall. So we might be on the, definitely going to be on the upper end, but covered in these beautiful pink flowers. Definitely going to be a full sun to part sun. I would say a minimum of 5 hours of sun for these guys. And then look at this gorgeous Rocksteady Vitex. So Vitex, Chase Tree, Rocksteady is new on the market within the last year or so. Even in Michigan, you can grow a Vitex. It's going to be more like a shrub for you. It's not going to get as tall because the winters are definitely harsher than they are in North Carolina. In North Carolina, the warmer states, the southeast, the south, because this is hardy all the way up from a 5B to a 9, this is going to be in that small tree form. It is going to get that 12 feet tall, 5 feet wide. Here in Michigan, it's going to stay about a 4x4. So it's in a pot, obviously. So it's probably about 3 feet tall, 4 feet wide right now. But what makes the Rocksteady so different is that it blooms for much longer than your traditional Vitex. Vitexes, of course, we love because they have that beautiful kind of that green, blue foliage to it, kind of that silvery color. Gorgeous blue flowers on it that your pollinators absolutely adore. They will love this plant. So if you're trying to bring in those pollinators, this is a great option for you. That is going to be a really nice addition to your garden. We have them both in the signature garden and at the garden at the house. So roses, of course, Proven Winners is really trying to bring these gorgeous roses, these shrub roses, back to the market that are disease resistant, but also have good fragrance. Because again, like I said, if I'm going to grow a rose and go to the trouble of growing a rose, I want it to smell delicious and divine. And not only do they have roses that smell delicious, but they also have roses that taste delicious. So they have the Flavorette series, which is a really interesting concept. So if you are a foodie, you love to create fun dishes and try new things, then the Flavorette series is going to be a great one for you. So there is the Flavorette Honey Apricot and the Flavorette Paired. And they're both over here. They have very nice, soft pastel flowers on them, but these are edible. So if you don't want to eat them, you don't have to eat them, but they are edible. So you can take them and you can eat them. You can put them in your salads. You can put them in desserts. However you sweet foodies want to use them, you absolutely can. Has a nice little, like the Paired, obviously, has that kind of that light pear essence to it. And then the apricot will have that flavor as well. So there you go. There is something for everybody as I'm trying to chew and swallow a rose petal. So there are tons of things that they are coming out with. We're not going to be talking about the new introductions today. We will do that because Proven Winner Color Choice Shrubs, they like to keep it under wraps until their catalog releases, which will be sometime end of August, beginning of September. So once they release them, then we will come back and do a video, not come back here. We will come back to you and do a video on those new introductions because there are some fantastic ones. We already know what they are because we just had a great afternoon session talking about all these new ones. There are going to be some that you're going to be so excited about. So there's a lot of great new introductions coming. Of course, Creekside will have them available for you, but you will start to see them next year. So in 2026, probably the earliest would be late spring into summer that you're going to actually see these on the market in those smaller sizes like the quart size containers. But we will do a whole spread for you on all of those great new introductions. So again, a huge thank you to our friends at Spring Meadow, the home of the Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs, for being great hosts, as you always are. We are getting ready to, once this is done, we are actually headed over to the gardens at the founder's home, which we have been there several times before. We're going to do a video tomorrow at the gardens, which is always such a fun thing to do. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That should be coming out tomorrow or the next time the video comes out, because I have no idea when this video is going to be coming, like what day it is. It's going to be soon. So we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you all the staff here at Spring Meadow. Y'all are always fabulous. If you have found this fun, informative, inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. Make sure you tune back in, because you're not going to want to miss a tour of these gardens. They're amazing. Y'all have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye, friends.